Amen. Amen. This song, amen, our dear brother, it ain't my song, but it's our dear brother Smoking Norfolk, amen. And it just does my heart, amen. You know, when we need God, when we need God, amen, it's just like a child when they want you right now. You got those cries, amen, as parents, you know, say, amen. But you got that death cry that you almost hurt yourself at the kid. You done broke your toe and everything and slipped down and scarred yourself up. And that's what we have right now, amen. Not just the believers, amen, but the world, they crying out too, amen. They don't know what to do with this thing, you know, because they can't, he won't let them figure it out. But our brother Smokey, he let us know, he says, not another second, another minute, not an hour, another day. Without this moment with my arms outstretched, I need you to make a way as you have done so many times before. Through a window and open door, I stretch my hands to thee. Come rescue me. I need you right away. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. Oh, not another second, another minute, not an hour, another day. But Lord, I need you right away. If I never needed you before, to show up and restore all of the faith that I let slip. What gets shut in the world for more the truest friend I have indeed. You're my best friend, I know indeed. I stretch my hands to thee. Come rescue me. I need you right away. The agony of being alone. You're not alone, Pastor. First Lady Fallon. The fear of doing things on my own. Tests and trials, they come to make me strong. The feeling of guilt, hurt, shame, and defeat. The waves of these trials beating down on me. But to know, Lord, that in you I have victory. Yeah. I need you now. Oh, I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. Oh, not another second, another minute, not an hour, another day. Lord, I need you right away. Come on, receive you the man of God, Dr. William Watson III, man. I'm Pastor. Come on, give him a hand praise. Hallelujah. Everybody all right? Amen.
God is so good, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
We thank him for his goodness and his mercy and his grace.
Yes.
If it had not been for the Lord on our side,
Oh, glory.
where would we be? Are you glad to be alive today?
Hallelujah.
I know I'm glad about it. To just see one more day.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Amen.
That's a good thing. We're going to the book of Kings this morning. Our study has been on 1 Kings We're going into starting 2 Kings. I'm going into 2 Kings on Wednesday. But our study has been in 1 Kings, chapter 19 of the book of 1 Kings. So much is going on.
Is that 1 Kings?
1 Kings, chapter 19. So much is going on.
Yes, sir.
Every time you turn around,
Oh, yes.
fires all over the land. Earthquake. 7.5 hit Haiti yesterday. 227 people gone. Hospitals filling back up again. We're in that day.
Yes, sir.
And yet, even being in that day, some people still refuse to serve God. Isn't that amazing? You would think, with everything going on, that people would bow before him, but yet they still saying, eating, drinking, and be merry. In chapter 19, it reads, and Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. And withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also if I had not their life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and went he went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down on a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is not enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. I read from chapter 19, verses 1 through 4. And I'd like to use for a topic this morning, you are not alone.
Amen.
You're not the only one, I'm sorry. You're not the only one. I was listening to Elder Roberson, and that stuck in my head when he said, you are not alone. A whole lot of times in life, we feel like sometimes we're the only one that's going through.
Come on now, help us this morning.
We feel like sometimes we're the only one that has this certain dilemma or circumstance that we're dealing with.
Yes, sir.
But we're not the only one.
Amen.
We all deal with situations and circumstances in a different way. And a whole lot of times it's not expressed how we deal with it. A whole lot of us suppress how we feel. Am I right about it? We keep our feelings to ourselves. Because we feel a whole lot of times like don't nobody really want to hear what we dealing with or what we going through, because the enemy tells us, but they got their own issues too. So they really don't want to hear about your stuff, because then all of us going to be complaining. You going to be complaining about your stuff? I tell you about my stuff, I'm going to be complaining about my stuff. So we keep our stuff to ourselves. But whether you realize it or not, this stuff don't just go away just because we keep it to ourselves. Is that right? See, our minds is like a sponge. You buy the sponge in the store, the sponge is fluffy, real light. Anybody ever wash a car with a sponge? Amen. Clean up stuff with a sponge. But when you take that sponge and put it in a bucket of water and push it down in the water, the sponge absorbs the water. Now the sponge is heavy. See, from our childhood, far as we can remember, all the way up until this moment, our minds have absorbed a whole lot of stuff.
Yes. Help us, yes.
Huh?
Help us.
A whole lot of stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In families, we saw a whole lot of stuff
Yes, sir.
that we knew on right,
Yes, sir.
but we absorbed it and kept it in our mind. And yet it didn't go nowhere.
Amen.
It was still in our mind. We absorb fussing, fighting, drinking, alcohol. Some absorb because mama won't dare.
Yes, sir.
Daddy won't dare.
Yes, sir.
All these feelings we carry every day of our lives. Is that right?
Amen.
And the majority of the times we don't share these feelings with nobody.
Yes.
We just keep these feelings to ourselves.
Amen.
But whether you know it or not, a whole lot of times these feelings come out in our actions and our conduct.
Yes.
And folk will be like, what's wrong with them? They're not right. They're a little bit off. You don't know what they absorbed. See, we don't know what each one of us individually absorbed in our mind. Because a whole lot of times we wasn't there when they absorbed it and experienced it. Are you with me? Here in the text, Ahab was the king. In the text, Ahab was the king. King of Judah at that particular time, of Israel. Worst king up until this moment. He was the worst of all the kings up until he got on the throne. But he married a lady by the name of Jezebel. He was the king and she was the queen.
She was a king, too.
But Jezebel wore the paint.
And the bell. Preach, spouse.
See, you got
You preaching now, you in it. Don't play
some
with it.
women
Don't play with it now.
that want to wear the paint.
Ooh. Be careful.
Jezebel
Well,
was one of them that wore the paint. Even though Ahab was the king. Ahab didn't mind her wearing the paint. Some men today don't mind they wife wearing the paint.
ooh. It's hot.
In other words, what they need to do is just switch
It's hot.
underwear.
Oh, glory.
Huh?
You're preaching now. You're out there.
We all got a role.
Yes, sir. Ooh.
Christ is the head of man. And man
Watch yourself.
is still
Here.
the head of woman.
Amen. It's the book.
It's just, we living in a time where people don't know who the man and who the woman is. They're still trying to figure that out. The birth certificate ain't no good no more.
Amen.
You just want to throw that away. They don't need that no more.
Holy Ghost.
So he was married to Jezebel. But there was a man of God also in town. And this man of God was a major prophet during that time whose name was Elijah. Elijah was the man of God.
Amen.
During this time. Elijah had watched God use him to perform 8 miracles.
Amen. Amen.
He allowed God to use him to pray.
Yes.
Book of James 5:17 said Elijah prayed.
Yes.
James recorded like this in 5:17. So Elijah was a man with like passions as us. He was a man.
Yes, yes.
That prayed and talked to God. And God shut the heavens up for 3.5 years.
Amen.
Elijah prayed again that it would rain. And the heavens opened up. And it began to rain. Elijah was the one that God used that multiplied the flour and the oil. With the widow woman and her son.
Yes.
Elijah was the one that God used that when the boy died, and Elijah picked the boy up and prayed. And life came back into the dead young man. Elijah was the one that built up to this story here. That defeated the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. Elijah was the one that brought an end to the rain and the drought. Destroyed 51 soldiers on 2 different occasions. The last miracle of Elijah parted the Jordan River. Mighty, awesome man of God, anointed man of God, powerful man of God, praying man, major prophet of God. But yet, this one woman sent a message to Elisha, the man of God. Said the same way that you killed all them false prophets of mine, tomorrow at this time, you're going to die too. It's amazing how this man of God has witnessed the power of God, allowed the influence of one individual to cause him to run 80 to 100 miles to hide from this woman. It would make me think, if you knew that God was with you all these times in your life, pandemic or not, how can you doubt him now?
Fear the devil.
Yeah, people say, yeah, the pandemic. Be careful. But God is still God.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Oh, yes.
Huh?
Amen.
Loss of a loved one. God is still God.
Yes, he is.
He's still God.
Yes.
See, what Elijah did was, Elijah believed what the messenger said. See, he wasn't thinking about the 8 miracles that God was with him and performed through him. He was looking at what the messenger said. A lot of times we look at what the messenger said. Listen to what the messenger said. Instead of listening to what the Lord said. Whether it's corona, whether it's cancer, whether it's a gunshot, whether it's a heart attack, you and me ain't going nowhere until God says so.
That's right.
Amen.
He said the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof.
Yes.
Ain't that what he said?
Oh, yes.
He said in the word, he said all souls.
All souls.
Ain't that what he said?
Oh, yes.
Are mine.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, we don't walk around in fear. Thank you, God. God didn't give us a spirit of fear.
Yes, sir.
But he gave us good sense.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he? I often tell people God is not going to do everything for you. Some folks want God to do everything for them. God didn't say he was going to speak to the mountain. He told you.
Come on now.
Ain't that what he said?
Amen.
He said, you speak to your situation. A lot of time we're looking for the preacher to speak to it, the pastor to speak to it. He said, you speak to your mountain, to your situation. Here, we deal with something that a lot of people are dealing with in society right now. Their mentality. You probably sit and say, no, ain't nothing wrong with me. We tell a lot of folk. Folks say, how you doing, sis? Oh, I'm fine. Lying. Lying. Y'all know y'all done said. Folks ask you, how you doing? You fine all the time? You actually fine mentally all the time? Come on now. Come on now. Now we can easily quote it. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored and tore up from the floor. Paint a picture and a face to folks that everything is all right. Knowing there's a whole lot of stuff going on mentally. But we don't want to tell nobody. Because the first thing a judgmental person is going to say is what? You crazy. Something wrong with you.
You have no faith.
Yeah, where's your faith? So we can't share with certain people. Because we know they're going to run us in the ground. Look what he said in verse 4. Verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, ran for his life. Because he was afraid of what he thought might happen to him. Where is God? Elijah, where did God go?
Yeah.
If you're running. Came and set up under a tree and had all kinds of thoughts. Now, this is a major prophet now. A man anointed of God. He requested for himself that he might die. In other words, he was talking suicide. Anybody ever been there? You ain't got to tell me. I know the enemy done spoke to you. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. What's the use? Mm-hmm. That's him, y'all. What's the use?
Yeah.
You just want to go ahead. Don't nobody really care.
Mm-hmm. They ain't gonna miss.
Ain't nobody coming to the funeral, no way. Don't nobody see you now. Don't nobody come see you now. Don't nobody call you now. So go ahead. Ain't that what he told Jesus? He told Jesus, why don't you jump?
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that what he told him? He the same one today. He said, why don't you just kill him? Why don't you just jump?
You're talking good, though.
He the same one.
You saying some good stuff.
But he don't never tell you that when you jump, what happens after that?
Preach now. Preach this.
He don't never tell you when you take a gun and kill them all. He don't never tell you what happens after that.
Preach, preach. You preach.
He don't tell you when you use all of the dope and the cocaine and all the heroin. He don't never tell you what's going to happen after that.
Preach now. Preach the word. You're in the book, sir.
He just tells you to go and do it. He influences you to do it.
Amen. Amen.
The prophet was talking, made a request for himself to die.
Mm-hmm. The feeling's hard.
He said, that's not enough. He said, now, Lord, take away my life. He said, Lord, I don't even want to. Jezebel went and scared me to death. You ever been scared before? So scared that you don't even want to deal with the situation. So scared that you don't even know the outcome of the situation, so you just say, forget it. Elijah said, forget it. He said, I'd rather just die. He said, I ain't no better than my father. Listen to me all that said, I ain't no better.
Amen.
I ain't no better than none of them. They better. Don't you never. I don't care what they got, who they are, what their status is.
Yes, sir.
Don't you never walk around thinking somebody better than you.
Amen.
And furthermore, don't you never walk around thinking you better
Somebody else.
than nobody else.
That's right.
Amen.
You all can be the same.
Elijah was having all kinds of crazy thoughts. But if you notice, Elijah had stopped talking to God. Elijah was in a place where he was all by himself. See, sometimes when you're by yourself, if you're talking to God, it's fine. But sometimes if you're by yourself, that other fella can talk to you too.
Yes, you sure will. Give you a chance again.
Yeah.
And see, sometimes you can be around folk,
Still be talking.
and that other fella can be talking to you. Adam was with Eve. Adam didn't hear it, but Eve heard it. Because the Bible said Adam was with her, and she gave the fruit to him. He was with her, but he didn't hear it. See, the enemy can talk to you when you're in a crowd of folk.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You walking along a crowd of folk and somebody bump you, enemy say, hit him. Ain't nobody else heard it. Huh? You on the road driving. Whole bunch of folks around you. Somebody done cut you off. Somebody on the telephone. Get him. Ain't nobody else heard it, but you heard it.
Come on now, you're saying something.
Huh? You heard it.
You're making that clear. Make the word.
Guess what? It's other folks that listen to their voice. And the next thing you know, they done took off. Riding behind that person real fast. And if you, they may pull up in your driveway behind you. Because they listen to the other person. Not knowing what you got up under the seat.
Amen. In that hand box next to me.
Listening to that other voice.
This is the other one. You preaching, dog.
Elijah,
This is the other one.
even though he was an awesome man of God,
Yes, sir.
James made it clear that he had a lot of passion as we do.
Yeah.
As soon after the big showdown on Mount Carmel,
Come on now.
you can sit in here, run around, pray, jump, shout. You on a high. You on a high. We had a hard time, Lord. Yo, we had a hard time. And get home with your boo and have one of the biggest arguments there. And your high don't come all the way down here. And you wonder how in the world, in the church, you were jumping around shouting. And now you done got back home. And then we got these big punches. How in the world this happened? That quick. We just walked out the door.
Can't wait to get out the
Can't wait out the door to say, I want a divorce. What? We just left the church.
That's why I want one.
Now calm me.
You preaching that?
Now calm me.
Oh, you preaching this word.
God showed up.
Yes, sir. Showed up.
Tore the altar all the
Oh,
pieces.
you suck the water. Yes, sir.
Killed all of the
Yes, sir.
false prophets.
Yes, sir. Preach for us.
God moved in Elijah's life.
Saul with his own.
Elijah was high.
Saul got it.
All of a sudden, he got a message. Just like that message I got that time. I had told people in here, I said, you know what? I said, what happened to your faith if you go to the doctor and they say that C word?
Yes, sir.
What happens? That C word will make you drop. When they say cancer. Because so many connect cancer with the graveyard.
That's right.
Huh? I'm just going to make it plain. They don't care what kind it is. When they say that C word, they connect that to the graveyard. I think some that was with us thought I was going to be in the graveyard. I didn't know what I was speaking in. I was going to hear that word. God said, you told my people. Now how you going to act when you hear the C word? That was my test. Some things in life, it's just going to be you and God.
Yes. Yes.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I don't care how much you love your boo. You can't love your boo more than God.
That's right.
Because your boo can't do things that God can do. They can do certain things, but they can't do what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to love him more.
Amen.
Is that right?
You're right. You're right.
High time. Come down. And this messenger said tomorrow, same way them prophets were, that's how you gonna be.
Oh, yeah. I got something for you.
Huh? The same way that they died, Elijah, we coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah thought that because they had killed the false prophets,
Mm-hmm.
and because Jezebel had killed some of God's prophets, he thought he was the only one. So he was running for his life. Not knowing that God said in 18, I have left me 7,000 that haven't bowed to Baal. See, Baal was the rain god,
Yes, sir.
the nature god.
Come on now. Help us, Pastor.
And they worship this rain god. They believe in the rain god like some folk believe in the horoscope. Are you with me?
Yeah.
They believe that. And because they believe in this God, Israel has started believing in false gods. So God said, I'm going to show them who is the God of nature. On Mount Carmel, they had a showdown. Baal lost. The God of Israel won. But that wasn't enough for Elijah. A whole lot of times we can see God do this today and not believe he can do it tomorrow. He's the same God. He's the same God that was with Elijah as he with us today. God knows everything that's going on. But he's allowing it for a reason.
Yes.
He has a purpose.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't tell
Oh, yes.
my family why my cousin left here at 24 years old. Like my dad said last night, said, son, God has this thing set up where there's some things we just don't even supposed to understand.
Amen.
Huh? Some things you will never understand.
That's right. You're right.
But you're not the only one. Everybody got different dilemmas and circumstances, just like Elijah. But you're not the only one. You're not the only one going through what you're going through. You're not the only one that got a hard-headed boo. You're not the only one. You're not the only one that's dealing with this issue, that issue, that issue, that issue. You're not the only one.
Help us, Holy
Everybody got their own issue.
Help us, Holy Ghost. Yes.
Right.
It's your choice if you want to share it with anybody or not. But everybody's dealing with their own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? We have all been affected by this pandemic mess. We've all been affected. We've all been touched by it some way or another. Mentally. Just like that sponge. We soak that up too. It's not the norm for children not to be in school. That's not the norm. Mess with their minds. The enemy job is to attack your thinking. His job is to attack your mind. You ain't going no further than your mind allow you. That's it. No further than your mind allow you. Elijah's mind told him to run. He ran. Your mind told you to get him and come here today. You can't. Your mind tell you to leave and to go get some meat. You're going to get some meat. The body follows the mind. How does saying go? So does a man thinketh,
So is he.
so is he. Power, life and death.
Is in the power of the tongue.
What you speak.
Yes, sir.
Words got power.
Amen.
What you speak. If you keep saying I ain't gonna be nothing, guess what?
You know?
If you keep saying you're not gonna succeed, guess what? If you keep saying you're not gonna make it, guess what?
That's right.
It's all coming from your mouth. Whatever you speak into the atmosphere. People say this is a bad day. No, you don't tell them that. You say this is a good day. Because once you start saying this is a bad day, guess how all your day going? Exactly what you done spoke. This happened, that happened, that happened, that happened, that happened. Well, you spoke it. You said it was going to be a bad day. Just receive what you say. You can't let nobody influence you negatively. See, he was influenced negatively by Jezebel.
Yes.
Allow folks to influence you positive. If you ain't got nobody in your circle that's trying to take you to the next level, get rid of them.
Amen.
That's true.
Say that again. Stay there. Say that. Help us with that.
If ain't nobody in your circle that's taking you to the next level, what you doing with them? They ain't trying to help you to be better.
Come on. Now.
They're not trying to help you to succeed. But they just say, I can do bad.
All by myself.
All by myself. I don't need nobody to help me to starve to death. Huh? You're not the only one. Whatever you're going through, brother, you're not the only one.
Yes.
Whatever you're dealing with, you're not the only one. Other folks dealing with it. Other folks have dealt with it.
Yes.
We're not the only ones sitting up in the church this morning with a mask on looking crazy. We're not the only one, are we? We're not the only one. But we do it as a precaution. Some say, I got faith in God. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I don't need to take that shot. Because I don't know what's in it. A sister and them, and I had to steal it from them, they made a valid point. They said, we don't know what's in a chicken nugget, but we eat it. Because it ain't real chicken, y'all.
Tastes good.
But we eat it. When you can get 10 for $1 at Burger King, we eat it. Because it's cheap and it's good. But we don't have a clue what's in it. We need to pray for our children this year. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college. They got something to deal with. Parents fussing, fighting over whether the kids should get the shot or not get the shot, taking the kids out of school to home school. Crazy! We are some of the most selfish people there is in this country. Selfish. Shame on them for only thinking about the freedom of your child. but not thinking about nobody else's child. Sometimes I got faith in God. Don't lock your door then. Don't lock your door. You go to sleep with your door wide open.
Day's over.
That may be the last time you lay down. That may just be the last time you lay down. You leave that door open.
You're gonna be laying down for
Because the enemy is sure going to tell some folk to go up in there. The door wide open. That was some years ago. You got it all?
Years ago.
When we used to have the doors unlocked.
Stuff like that.